So the All Blacks versus Pumas lineups have just been announced. The AB's victorious over the Irish in their quarterfinal, and Argentina getting the win over Wales. It's currently 5 a.m. The timings of these lineups have been brutal, but both sides looking strong heading into these semi-finals. We all start with the All Blacks. Their lineup is going to be as follows. No changes in the front row for the ABs. Number 1, Ethan de Groot. Number 2, Cody Taylor. And number 3, Tyrell Lomax. So last week we did see the return of Ethan de Groot after his suspension. Cody Taylor making 14 out of 14 tackles, so doing extremely well. And then number 3, Tyrell Lomax, keeping that consistency in the front row for the All Blacks. In the lock and duo, there is a change. Number 4, Sam Whitelock, making his way into the starting side. That is rather than coming off the bench. Got that absolutely crucial turnover for the All Blacks in their game up against Ireland after 30 plus phases. The veteran, the one who got the turnover. And then number 5, they have stuck with Scott Barrett. So the change there is Brodie Retallick out, but he does make his way off the bench instead for the semi-final. In the loose forward trio, number 6, Shannon Frizzell. Number 7, Sam Cane, who is the captain. He had a brilliant performance last week up against the Irish. The leading tackler also getting himself 2 turnovers, 1, and then Ardie Savea at number 8. Not only did he have the 2 turnovers, 1, but he also scored himself a try, 4 clean breaks throughout the game. He was on fire. We'll be looking to do the same here up against Los Pumas. In the back line, it will be Aaron Smith at number 9 with Richie Mo'unga slotting in as the number 10. The combination worked pretty well in the game up against Ireland. Aaron Smith, he did end up with the yellow card in the end, but when he made his way back out onto the field, had a real impact. So much so that they didn't even use the reserve halfback Finlay Christie for that matchup. Out on the left wing, it is Mark Delia, so missed last week's game due to disciplinary issues. Now comes back in for Leicester. Whainā Nuku. In the midfield combo, Geordie Barrett at number 12 and number 13, Rieko Ioane. Now, Ioane's been struggling for form, but in last week's game, he really started to find it again, getting himself a few try assists. And Geordie Barrett, of course, adds that solidness to the midfield for the All Blacks. Number 14, Will Jordan, and number 15, they have stuck with him once more. It will be Beauden Barrett. So that is the All Blacks starting lineup. Looking through at the reserves, number 16, Samisoni Taukei'aho, number 17, Tamaiti Williams, and number 18, Fletcher Knowles. So they have gone with Taukei'aho rather than Dane Coles. The other 2 men keeping it consistent with the Crusaders. Propping duo, number 19, it is Brodie Retallick, and number 20, Dalton Papali'i. In the back reserves, number 21, Finlay Christie. So even though he didn't play in last week's game, they have decided to select him again rather than the attacking Cam Roigard. It is something Ian Foster said is for defence rather than attack. And I'm sure the ABs later on in a contest would love to score themselves a few tries. Number 22, Damian McKenzie. Actually another player who didn't get the chance to come off the bench in last week's quarterfinal. And then at number 23 to close out the side, man who did have a real impact off the bench for the All Blacks, and that is Anton Lienert-Brown. Now the All Blacks, they did say they were going to announce their side at 5 a.m, but a few minutes prior, the Pumas actually did announce their side as well. So now we will look through at them. Number 1, Thomas Gachon. Number 2, Julian Montoya, who will be the captain for this contest. And then number 3, Francisco Gomez Cordella. And all 3 of those men playing an important role in the Pumas win over the Welsh. It was later on in the contest, in fact, that the Pumas were able to find themselves that momentum. The first half, it was a gritty, grindy one, but they stayed in the contest long enough to then have that opportunity of getting in a winning position. Number 4, Guido Petti, and number 5, Thomas Lavanini. So the same combo as the Pumas had last week. In the loose forward trio will be Juan Martin Gonzalez, and number 6, one of the standout players for Argentina throughout this Rugby World Cup, number 7, Marcos Crema, and number 8, Fukando Eze. He came in last week for Pablo Matera, who is injured, and he did play a phenomenal game of rugby. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he matches up with Ardie Savea in this contest. At number 9, Gonzalo Berrano. Now, he did not play in the last game. Instead, they had Thomas Kubeli as well as Bazin Velez off the bench. But Berrano back now to partner with Santiago Carrera, something that we did see quite a bit throughout the Rugby Championship in 2023. It's a combo we know works, and it will be great to see them back together on the field for the semi-final. In the midfield combo will be Santiago Chochabarez and number 13, Lucio Cinti. So pretty similar to the All Blacks in regards of only minimal changes being made for Argentina. A lot of people were anticipating maybe a few switches for these sides, resting key players. But I think this just shows how much both of these teams respect each other. They know they can't afford to put anything out there other than their A side to make sure they get themselves the victory in the back three. For the Argentines, Mateo Carreras did get himself a hat-trick in the last game of the pool stage. Was a little bit quiet in that game up against Wales. Going head-to-head with Will Jordan, we're certainly going to see someone doing well out on that wing. Number 14, Emiliano Boffelli. And then at number 15, to close out the starting lineup for Argentina, it is Juan Cruz Malea, a man who made almost a match-saving tackle on the Welsh in that last game of the quarterfinals. Looking through at the reserves, it is Agustin Crevi at number 16, so a huge amount of experience in that department for the Argentines across not just their starting hooker in Montoya, but also Crevi coming off the bench. Number 17, Joel Scalevi, and number 18, Eduardo Bello. Number 19, Matthias Alemano, with number 20 being Rodrigo Bruni, so very similar to what they did have in last week's game. Number 21, it is Lautaro Bazan-Velez, so actually getting rid of Thomas Kubeli completely here. Number 22, the veteran Nicolas Sanchez, and then number 23 to close out the side for Argentina, it is Matthias Maroni. But those are the starting lineups and reserves for both of these sides. The game is kicking off at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning New Zealand time, so only 2 days away. It's going to be an epic one. Whoever wins this contest goes on to face England or South Africa in the Rugby World Cup final. And I should mention, whoever loses this game still has got themselves another matchup that will be for third place, also happening on the finals weekend. But do let me know what you think of these lineups in the comments down below. Do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, sure to leave a like and subscribe. We will be doing the live commentary for the game, so be sure to check that out as well. And I will see you all for the next one.